Still on 2023 elections and security, while we had a break, we were opportune to be joined by the president of the Association for Formidable Education and Development, Edo State Chapter, AFED, and he is also the executive director of African Emancipation Project, and he is a conflict resolution expert. Osage God-sent Erunse. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Phil. It's always a pleasure. Good morning, dear.
And I must say, belated happy birthday. Your birthday was yesterday, and it was awesome to know that you made +1 yesterday.
Thank you, sir.
So more grace as you move along.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thanks to all my friends and coaches.
All right. So quickly, let's look at what is happening, because this election here, we're gradually getting to election proper, and we have just barely 4 months, if you ask me. And this issue of the U.S. security alert on Abuja is becoming worrisome. What do you make of this?
Well, Phil, it's sad, and if you can recall, it's not the first security alert, you know, over time, and just in recent parts, the UK and even the Australia too, you know, just about 2 months ago, thereabout, as at when I go to Abuja then, there was already this apprehension, especially added to the Kuje Brick prison. You know, there's this fear in the air. You are literally cautioned to be careful where you go, how long you stay outside. You know, Abuja people are quite a little bit conservative, quite careful, more careful than others. And here we are again. And most times, this advanced country don't just give security signals. These things always get to happen. It may not be in the immediate as expected, but in just a short while, you'll see that they are happening either on a large scale or in a smaller scale. Is a reality we have to face up with. That is what I want to say basically. Okay? Why that have gone out, my primary concern is not about the fact that there is an intelligence from the US or UK, whichever. But my concern is what we do with this intelligence, with these informations. During the Kuje Break prison, we were also here to discuss these issues. There was an intelligence from our own local, I think that should be the NC, the Nigeria Defense or something. There was also an intelligence to that effect, that something was going to happen. But at the end of the day, it happened. You know, we get, history tells us that there are different situations in time past where we've had this intelligent gathering to say, look, something is going to happen in no distance time. And at the end of the day, it happens. The criminals or the criminal element perpetuate their disastrous acts, and they just go scot-free with it. It's worrisome, to be quite frank. So our concern is, what do you do with this intelligence? Who responsibility or which department of the security, of the different security apparatus we have in this country is responsible for managing those intelligence? What are the security outfits, the different security outfits we have in Nigeria, both the army, the police, and what have you, the civil defense? What are they supposed to be doing at this time? What are the measures that they are supposed to put in place to counter this security intelligence should it attempt to surface? And where it happened, because sometimes security personnel can argue that even in advanced country there are pockets of explosions and what have you. Yeah, we quite recognize that. But even at that, what happened at the aftermath? What do we see? There are two angles to this. There are situations where we can put mechanism in place to forestall something from happening. There is also a situation where, should it happen, what becomes the aftermath? Because, see, let me tell you something. No die-hardened criminal really wants to die. No die-hardened criminal really wants to be caught by a law they know can be trusted. As in by a system they know will prosecute you through all the I's and the T's if you are found culpable or if you are caught. But when people, like what happened in the Kuje prison, for example, what happened to the personnel that were on ground? For armed bandits to attack a certain prison for over 3 hours And everybody will understand it. There was no reprisal, there was no attack, there was no even from external attack, even though we know that very close to the Kuje prison is the Air Force, base and what have you. Now, these are our worries.
Okay.
We have seen this over and over again, and it keeps happening. And it's time we call on the security, experts, those that are saddled with the responsibility. I mean, the security chiefs, to be quite very precise, to brace up and take responsibility.
Okay, I think it's high time we started talking about the positive remarks, or development coming again from the President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. We heard about the Kaduna Abuja train attack, and then the victims already been released, and there seems to be, like what some say, there seems to be some decorum in terms of high magnitude of terrorist activities in the country. And then the police PRO did say, talking about Adejobi Olomoyiwa, did say that criminal elements have been flushed out of the northwest regions, and so that means conducting elections in 2023 will be safe. And then even reacting to the report by the U.S. Embassy on the security alert on Abuja, the DSS already said that they are already hands on the deck in that regard, and they will match every effort to make sure that such does not happen. And this is not the first time, like you said, we heard about security alert and all that. But if the government of the day has not been doing the needful, then that would have meant a disaster in the FCT. But that has not happened. Does that not show that the government of the day is doing a lot to make sure that such doesn't happen? And should we not give that kudos and positive remark in that regard as far as President Muhammadu Buhari's administration is concerned?
I'm surprised you're saying this. You're a journalist.
I'm asking you a question.
I mean is
I'm not making any statement.
Acquainted with the trend.
I'm giving you a background analysis
I get
to ask you a question.
Yes,
not my opinion.
I get that. But my point is, when you say it hasn't happened, and when you say we should give government maybe some form of credit or rhetoric.
I didn't say you should. I said, wouldn't you?
No, I wouldn't. And I have never. Because it has never been better. Every year, we see it getting worse. I am not so much as interested on the rhetorics and what has been said on paper. What Nigerians are interested is what are the realities on ground. And if you permit me to go into that, you will discover that over time, even the president, the commander-in-chief, have given marching orders in time past. I've ordered the security chiefs. I've told them given even a deadline. Things still worsen. Now, let me just digress a little bit and also remind you that if you look at one of those intelligence, I think this should have been coming from the UK. There was an intelligence on the current flood disaster we are facing. The current flood issue we are facing. Part of the intelligence
that's a natural disaster.
Yes, that's a natural disaster, but you can infer. I mean, there was an intelligence.
It's a global challenge. Don't forget that. It's a global challenge. Even developed countries are still finding it hard to tackle hurricanes.
Okay, fine. Hurricanes. Storms. What happened when there was an hurricane? I'm surprised that is now we are hearing there's a directive to bring out measures. Do you also realize that in 2010 and 2012, millions of nairas, even billions, were marked by the good luck Ebele Jonathan to tackle these same issues? When you say there are hurricanes, yes, there are hurricanes in other countries, but what are the measures that those governments have put in place before and during?
Okay.
What action? We are talking about 34 states already. You know, there is so much. You need to see the statistics of people that have been affected with the current flood disaster. My point is that we are not proactive, and it's in the public domain. There's nothing to hide about it.
I think
we also, by recent and past history, and even by the recent happening last Saturday in Edo State, when one of our highly respected father in the faith was almost whisked away. You know, we have not been able to see reasons to have confidence in both the directive or the stance of our different security architecture and even the commander-in-chief.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Well, before you came, he also said, he spoke much about being proactive. And just now, you just raised another issue, which I will be running off with, concerning the Benin Auchi scare. I call it scare because now we're becoming very, very. I don't know. Let me reserve my comment on that. now, what's your advice as a security expert on how to go about this totally and end this whole saga about the Benin Auchi challenge as insecurity is concerned?
Number one, the bad road. the roads are bad. When the roads are good, to an extent, you have reduced insecurity. Because this bad element will take that as an advantage to strike. The government should do something about our roads.
Okay.
Number two, we should put more men on ground to man the security of the roads, day or night. Because it's not just today, it has been. Just from here to Ekpoma, before you travel, you have to pray to the Lord to save your life. Because of what is happening almost every day. Kidnapping thing, assassination thing is still going on. Okay. What just happened last, was it Friday?
Okay. Concerning the incident.
Yes, it's just God that saved. It's just God that saved him.
Okay.
It's just God that saved him. Probably something has happened.
But some have also said that such gesture of driving in bulletproof cars should have been extended to the security operators.
Well, it's part of it. How much bulletproof are we going to be buying?
Why others have said, don't drive in those cars and let's see how God will protect.
You know, any case the bird says, when the hunter shoot without missing, they will fly without patient. If you buy bulletproof, I buy bulletproof, does not mean we are totally safe. You are going to come out from that bulletproof car one of these days. If they want to catch you, they know how to catch you.
Okay.
So it's not about the bulletproof car, but it's very, very important. But it's not about it. The government should do its part in the area of security. Put our economy in order. When the economy is good,
okay,
there will be drastic reduction of crime.
Okay, thank you. Your final words, Osage Gossett.
Phil, I know you may want me to refute this, but I've always maintained that currently, for me, this nation current narrative looks like a joke, you know, because we just have a joke for a country. Why I would say that?
We can't say that.
You see, there are...
You can't say that.
Phil, this is not the time to try to be economical with the truth. Nobody is safe, even you. You can be whisked out of this studio, and there will be nobody will go in for it. There will be no persecution. I wanted to take you back to the Kuje attack, because when you say they have released banditry, are you also aware that some persons have alleged? I said alleged. Even before then, it wasn't even alleged. It was one of the conditions that the bandit gave to the government to say, for we to release these strange people, give us some of our people. It was one of the conditions which the government said no. They refused. Then, few months away, we saw a Kuje attack. All the military, everybody were totally hands up. For hours, these guys had a field day. Then, few months after that, I was on her studio here, and I did say that just a few months away from now, you see that they would regain all the trained, what do you call, kidnappers. Those that were kidnappers will be released.
What you are saying now,
we are going to see that.
What you are saying
now we are already
is
seeing
based on assumptions, and we can't verify
you
this.
Cannot totally say that.
You can't verify that.
No, you can't say assumption, because these are things that are in the public space.
In as much you are saying it, we should be mindful of the fact that whatever you say, you must have facts to back up. Otherwise, they are just mere allegations.
What I want to say is that life is sacrosanct.
Okay.
And life should remain sacrosanct. In Nigeria, it's like life is not sacrosanct. Government should do everything to make sure that the value of life is increased.
Okay, let me come to the Binia-Auchi Road very quickly.
In 1 minute.
Yes, it's not as security is not as difficult as we make it. It's just that we politicize everything. Let me give you something. Like he has talked about fixing the road. I've talked about that for a while. You know, but again, you also look at if you can have a consistent patrol. Will it cost government to have a consistent patrol? Maybe have up to like 10 security patrolmen going through 24 hours.
When you say government, are you referring to the federal or the state?
Both the state and government. The state can, you know, we have vigilantes. The state can do that. But basically, federal government is in charge of the security architecture. So it falls in their purview. So what will it take the federal government of Nigeria to have a consistent patrol? Okay, you just said you know the biggest mockery? That's why I told you, we are in a joke of a country. Do you know what is now happening? The last 3 times I was traveling towards that area in Auchi, you now see security personnel escorting raw materials. You will see heavy-duty trailers taking expensive raw materials. You see up to about 4 security personnel, you know, escorting raw materials that are now more valuable than human lives.
Thank you. Just in case you're still with us, just to let you know that the opinions shared are the opinions of the makers and not that of independent television. Big thanks, Reverend Dr. Sheriff Azeke, for taking out time in spite of your busy schedule to be part of this show. And also same goes to you, Osage Godsent. Big thanks in spite of your enormous schedule for taking out time to be here. This is much you can take on the discussion. Don't forget, next is insurance. Don't you go away.